When you first start your job, everybody is so friendly. You've just started at the company and you're at a very junior level. And everyone is really friendly and helpful, and that's really great. So don't rush in now, like this guy in the middle of that picture with arms open wide saying, "Hey, I'm here." As you settle in, you want to make sure that all the right things are going for you. So here are some things you need to make sure you don't do to jeopardize your chances of growing in the company. So whether this is an office or a factory job, there are some things that you need to watch out for. The first thing you need to remember is that these people that you're working are your colleagues. They're not your friends. You need to choose your work friends carefully. Give yourself time. Get to know them before you start telling them all your life story. Gossips are one of the worst. Don't become one of these. As you get to know the people, you will meet that person who likes to tell you the ins and outs of everyone around them. They can come in handy though, as they can often tell you who to watch out for. But watch out. If they're talking about other workers, then they will be talking about you behind your back. And if you turn into a gossip, this is a sure way of not growing in the company. Managers and supervisors will see you as someone that they cannot trust. If you come across that colleague who wants to get information from you, the stuff that they don't need, personal information, even work-related, but none of their concern, use the Stonewall strategy. So here you have the person who's going to ask that question they shouldn't be asking, like, what was that meeting that you've just had? What was that about? Or how much did you get in your pay packet this week? Don't answer them, not with the right reply anyway. You're going to stonewall them. So answer them with a question like, "Ooh, that's interesting. Why would you ask me that?" 99% of the replies will say something like, "Oh, I'm just curious." And here's another response. Just respond with a closed answer. Something like, "Are you always this curious?" And they can only reply with a yes or no. If they ignore your response and they ask again, then do exactly the same, like a broken record. Just go back to your pat replies. "Ooh, that's interesting." Or, "Why would you ask me that?" Eventually they will give up because they know you have sussed them. But they will be back. Those team meetings. Team meetings are hard places to start in. Someone will be watching you for your weak point. And if you're trying to be noticed too early, they will see you as a threat. And they will aim at bringing you down.
You're going down, man. You're going down.
For the first few meetings, just mainly sit and watch the people around you. Answer politely, but don't rush forward with too much enthusiasm. You will learn to show your talents in the future when you've been there a while and the managers have been watching you, and they will get to know who you are and what you can do. So for now, just learn where each person is situated in that work life. So if you're in a meeting and your boss says something to you or about you that makes you angry or upset, how do you cope? So you're not going to say in your head, "I won't cry, I won't get mad," because that's exactly what you'll do. You need to do reverse psychology on your brain. So you need to sit there and say, "I'm cool, I'm calm, I'm not affected by this." And it's funny how it works. Give it a go now. But your brain will just calm down and you find that you won't be getting mad with anger or the tears won't be welling up in your eyes. In another tutorial, I will tell you about the coping statements to learn so you can prepare in advance, as often in an emotionally charged state, we will forget what to say. I am such a culprit of this, and I'll come out with what I'm thinking instead of what I should be saying. So think of yourself as Sherlock Holmes, who's just been given a case he needs to work, and he needs to work out all the clues before he makes his decision. When you first start, people don't know who you are or what you're aiming for. If this is a job you want to grow in, then it's important not to put your cards on the table. So don't go around telling everyone about your argument with your partner, mum, dad, or that you're skint. Just don't. Your boss, often the most difficult to work out. As you go up the manager chain, i.e. from your line manager to supervisor to site manager to CEO, they do become different breeds. At the top, the CEO, they are usually friendly and polite. You won't see them very much. Your line manager and supervisors are the ones that you're going to have to deal with. These are the ones that you need to watch and learn their characters. They may be mean and moody, but are fair to you. Or they may be happy and chatty, but will stab you in the back. Watch out for the ones who have friends working on their shift. If they get treated better than others, then you know you have to be very careful with what you do and say when you are around them. Never moan about a supervisor or a manager to anyone. It will get back to them and your life will be hell. If you have an issue, then you need to talk to them directly and politely in private. When you have to talk to your boss, don't be emotional. Take your time to process emotions before you respond. Think about which emotional state you are in right now, and should you make an excuse and leave before you say anything you regret. Also, think about what you want to get from the discussion and what a solution looks like for you. Don't make your discussion be about personal feelings. Don't bring your personal feelings in. You need to have an adult conversation. And own up to any ways that you may have contributed to a problem that you are in the process of discussing with him or her. If it's a senior member of staff that you're talking to, try to end the discussion on a good note, thanking them for a productive talk. You may not feel that way, but it's just the polite, good-mannered thing to do. As a newbie, you will be at the bottom of the ladder, but just accept this. At this time, your workload is probably much lighter and the stakes are not a big issue. They see you as learning your job, so they're not going to be shouting and screaming that you've done something wrong. If for some reason a supervisor does shout at you in front of others, take it on the chin for the moment and think or find out how to deal with this in the future. There are a few managers, I think of Gordon Ramsay, around, and that's just how they are. It's what they do. Because if they're going to be your manager, you just need to learn how to deal with that. As you get more used to your work environment, you will know who your friends are that you can talk to when you're having a bad day. But please remember, your real friends are at home. Thanks, and don't forget to watch this video about toxic people and toxic workplaces. Thank you. Catch you next time.